Following the footsteps of the Nintendo DS and 3DS before, and I guess even going so far back as the original Game Boy with stuff like the Game Boy Pocket, Nintendo has announced the Nintendo Switch Lite. That's right, Pokemon fans, a new version of Nintendo Switch is coming, and you might be interested if you don't have a Nintendo Switch already, and that's what we're going over in today's video here on Master Trainer. So with that, what is the Nintendo Switch Lite? The Nintendo Switch Lite is a new version of the Nintendo Switch coming out September 20th, that's well, a slimmed down model. It's pretty much doing the 2DS thing, much like how the 2DS took away the 3DS's signature, well, 3D and its hinge. The Switch Lite does not have removable controllers. It cannot be used with a dock to be put out to a TV, and it doesn't even have stuff like HD Rumble. What it does have is a smaller form factor, still the ability to do 720p video display, and as a nice, I guess a nice touch, it has a proper D-pad on it. I know that seems small, but trust me, I'd take a D-pad over the Switch buttons any day. In addition, it's coming in a variety of really nice colors, something that you specifically as a Pokemon fan may be getting, unless you're really super turned off by Pokemon Sword and Shield by the whole National Dex fiasco, which I know a lot of people are, is this beautiful new Pokemon Sword and Shield Nintendo Switch Lite. It has the two legendary puppers on the back of it. It's like the silver color, and it has sword and shield colored red and blue buttons. It looks really cool. What's disappointing about this though is it doesn't come with any copies of the game, but also it looks cool, so I guess there's that. I do have a few concerns about the Switch Lite, and I'm going to be going over all 5 of those here. And the first thing right off the bat is the price. It's $200 US new, which, judging by previous conventions, means it's going to be $300 up here in Canada. And that'd be fine and all if you couldn't buy a used Switch regularly for around that price. Yes, Nintendo Switch is $380 new in Canada. $400 if you're going back to launch. Maybe Nintendo Canada could surprise me though, and only price it at $250. I'm surprised it didn't try to target more of a $150 price point and whatnot, but at $200, I think it's fine for those of us who want a second, more travel-ready Switch, or for those parents who want to get a Nintendo Switch console that perhaps could take more of a beating from children and also has fewer moving parts. And I should mention, even though it doesn't have detachable controllers, you can still pair Joy-Cons, Pro Controllers, etc. to it, and still play games on it, using those, and that's cool. Now, my second worry is the lack of kickstand. I hope this thing comes with some sort of case or something, because really, you can only play it in handheld mode. And I know it sounds weird since I know that it doesn't have detachable Joy-Cons, but if you do have your own Joy-Cons, I feel like it'd be nice to be able to put it into kind of a tabletop mode. And I know Nintendo sells their own additional stands, but I don't know, maybe if they include like a charging cradle or something with this, that'd be cool. The third thing that concerns me is the lack of HD Rumble, which I know was a really big part of the Switch and whatnot, but the Switch Lite has no Rumble at all whatsoever, which is kind of sad and also very weird. I mean, I don't think the 3DS had Rumble, but most consoles do. I think the Vita did. Also, am I the one who's really reminded of the Vita with this design? No, I love my Vita. The fourth thing that kind of shocks me is the complete lack of any form of TV out. Yes, I expected it wouldn't come with a dock. Yes, I know that's part of the cost-cutting things, but since they already have those little USB-C things that allow it to connect to a dock, why not put one in here? Why not allow me to put it into some sort of dock that I already have if I'm buying this as a second Switch? I just don't get it. But then again, maybe that's something that could be changed with a firmware update, or something that could be made to care less with any inevitable price drops of this get. And now the final thing that I'm kind of surprised about, this isn't really a worry for Switch Lite, but something I'd want to include is, it was rumored that we'd be getting a Switch Pro as well, and apparently that's not coming this year. And I thought they'd pull a Sony and announce the Pro version the same time as a Lite version, because then we'd really have a nice console hierarchy. It's like what Microsoft did with the Xbox One, except they really botched the launch on that. Ooh. Where we had the original Xbox One, it was okay. It was okay. But then they announced the One S and the One X, and there was that clear hierarchy there. So I'm surprised we're not getting a Switch Pro this year. That said, though I'm surprised they didn't target at least like a slightly lower price point, and though the lack of any sort of rumble, not just HD rumble, but even like basic rumble like you'd find a PS2 controller, is shocking, I do like the addition of the D-pad. I love the new versions of the Switch Lite, including the one with the new Gen 8 legendaries Zacian and Zamazenta? Zacian and Zamazenta? Did I pronounce those right? It's a really nice looking console, and as it's a Nintendo product, it'll probably be very well built. So with that, will you be buying Nintendo Switch Lite? I think I might, just because I've been wanting to get my fiance a Switch for a while, and the lower price point is quite tempting. Just depends how much it costs in Canada, right? So anyways, with that, thank you very much for watching. Stay classy. Will you be buying it? Let me know in the comment section below. What news and Gen 8 videos should I do in the future? And if I didn't talk about Pokemon enough for you, then here is a picture I found of a Wooloo and a Mareep cuddling. You're welcome.